Okay, so I think I'm gonna go back to this, the green form.
Oh, Nadine, I apologize. One just popped up.
Yeah,
Do we need to sign 5B even if we didn't add any supplemental stuff?
yes.
Okay.
It's basically signing that you didn't. So it's an affirmative that you didn't. Um, that's good. Anything else? Okay, so
I got one
oh,
more. Who do we pay the $90 to?
on the top of the form, on the first page, it says to Pelsby, P-E-L-S-B. So right on the application form, right on, right here. So you payable to Pelsby, and then for 90.25.
Thank you. I don't see any others yet. I'll interrupt you again if I find them.
Okay, I love it. Okay, so on your green sheet, on this sheet right here, then right here is in this box is what I need back again. So it's your application. The program checklist is that gold colored sheet. The COVID-19 student teaching responsibilities for those of you that student taught in spring. I don't need it if you were doing in the fall. The release of information so I can print your transcript, your completed fingerprints, and then the check for the 90.25 to Pelsby. Okay, that all comes back. You should have all gotten an envelope that was paid to come back to me at Bethel. So let's talk about when you should send it back and your testing. So it sounds like everyone's going to be able to get the fingerprinting, so we don't have to worry about that. The testing, here's the deal. So I thought I was going to have all these fantastic answers because we had a meeting yesterday with Pelsby. And so there, I think I talked about there's an option that might be coming through as called a conditional tier 3 license. So if you have not, if you were not able to test because the testing center is closed, you will be able to apply for a conditional tier 3 license. It currently passed through the state house. It passed through the state senate. The governor has not signed it yet. Pelsby doesn't see, they don't foresee the governor not signing it. So they're kind of moving forward with what the process will look like. It requires one different form, of course. I find that out literally the day after I mailed out all these packages to you. So I think what I'm just gonna do, so first of all, let me say, they strongly, strongly urge you to try to get your tests in just so we can be done, get the full tier 3 license, and move on and have that for 3 years. However, I also understand, and some of you have been sharing with me, that the testing sites are automatically bumping you out and bumping you out. And some of you are, I think, somebody told me they're into like July. Depends on where you are located and what site you were trying to get into. Pearson is opening their sites on May 29th, reportedly. Pelsby was meeting with Pearson yesterday afternoon to try to see if they could get it done sooner. But I haven't heard that happened. So the 29th is when their sites are opening. There are sites that are not owned by Pearson, so they're not franchise sites that might be more available. And those are just, they're also on the same testing site. So you click on the test and where you want to go, and depends on how far you want to drive. Sometimes it's what I'm understanding. So I just urge you, try to get the tests in. So what I'm going to say though is that I think that like we're going to kind of play the timing game, right? Because bottom line is I want you all licensed. So as much as I want you fully licensed, I also want you licensed in teaching in the fall. I don't want this to be hindering us. And if it's available to us, I want us to be able to take advantage of it. So I'm going to say if you can get your testing done before like July or mid-July, let's go for it. Let's try to get the tier 3 done. If you are pushing out past that, then I think we seriously need to consider you doing the conditional tier 3 if it gets approved. So there's this big asterisk all the time. So, so I've been thinking about this. I noodled with Becky today. I'm a verbal processor. So it's like, Becky, what do we think we should do? And so my thought is that it's not gonna hurt you, and you can decide, but here's my thought. It's not going to hurt you to completely fill out the application as if you did do the exams and send it to me so I have it for whenever those exams get passed and I can forward it on. Does that make sense? So if you're able to take your tests in June, at least I have your packet, and then when we find out that you passed your exams, then I can finish off signing on it and send it on. If it happens in July, I can do the same thing. If it's going to end up being a conditional tier 3 license, then you and I are going to have to work together on one additional form. I think that that's the best approach for us to take at this point, and it'll kind of like, I can get the bulk of them done then right up front, and then kind of move forward with the few of you that are coming through in the summer. To layer this problem, Bethel is limiting my access to campus, limiting everybody's access to campus. In addition, I work 10 hours a week in the summer. So this is solely my job in the summer is only doing applications. So I don't have a bunch of time. So I would rather, I'm full-time until mid-June. So if I could get all your stuff in, and I'm just holding on to it, I can do all of the work behind it and then literally sign it in July or whenever we're going to submit it in. So, gosh, I wish I had like just here like timeline that I could like lay out for you. It's just, you people know this gray area way better than I do, having gone through this semester. So I'm willing to, do whatever I can, but I think like that makes the most sense. If you guys, even if you guys are finishing a course this summer, so that means I would be holding on to your check, your fingerprint card, your entire packet until you're ready. And then you tell me like, hey, I'm done. Here's what's going on. And then we pull the trigger together. Does anybody have questions on that?
Does that mean for, like, if you have a summer course, for the program checklist form, the gold one?
Yeah.
Where it says 1, do you have more classes to finish for your degree? Should I just check no then?
No, if you can tell me that you're yes, and that you're doing it in the summer, then I'm gonna, when I get your applications all in, when I get everybody's, like all 60 of you, I'm just gonna kind of put them in stacks. Like, so I'm calling them classrooms. This classroom has like completed their degree and has completed their tests. Like, I can move those licenses on as soon as I get a transcript. This group here needs exams. I'm going to wait until their exams are done. This group here needs a class. I'm going to wait until their class is done. Does that make sense? So then I just can kind of individually work through, so I don't miss you. That's the best way for me to try to organize. So if you put on that program checklist that you have a class and it's expected to be done, if you knew it was like the first half of Bethel's summer class, it'll be done July 14th or whatever that date is. If you could put that on there, that would be super helpful for me.
Okay.
Okay.
For the exams, Nadine,
Yeah.
if I was able to reschedule all of mine in June, but I had to do one in July. So do you want me to put that on the orange form, like the last date of your last exam? Do you want me to put like July and then send it in to you? And then once I take it, then you will update it or something?
Yes. If you still, Anybody that still has exams left, please put that on that gold form on the top, because that's going to help me to categorize which one you're in. Now, back to Paige's question. Paige, you have the option of getting a full Tier 3 license right now on elementary education, and then taking exams later, and then adding on your social studies after your exams have passed. It's up to you. You would pay the additional fee to add that on later. You wouldn't be in a time stretch or a time stress to have to add that on. And we can chat offline on if you want to go through the pros and cons on that. If you weren't planning on teaching, right? I mean, if you're going to take the tests, then let's just wait and get the whole thing done at once. But if you're struggling trying to get the tests in, and your future position isn't in social studies, then let's get it added on, because it's important to get it added on. But we don't have to stress about the timing. Other questions?
Hey, Nadine, I'm going to ask you to take off the screen sharing so we can see everybody. Then maybe you can see who
Okay.
has questions.
Okay. This, I was just going to say this I sent to you guys, and